He's there.
I don't hear him.
I see his hand.
Is he muted, Dan?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm at work, so I can only do what I can right now. So I'm short-handed, guys. So
Okay, let's call a roll call right quick. I get you. Ruben Weiss,
here,
Shannon Wadzik,
Here.
Deborah Middleton,
Here.
Kendra Sellers, not here. Cindy Durham.
Here.
Okay, all members are present with the exception of Kendra Sellers. Next on the agenda is discussion and the possible action of real property of the wastewater improvement project. And basically what we need to do here today is pass a resolution to pay for the property internally and be reimbursed for it. And I guess according to Ms. McAnally, that would help speed up the process. And also, I think there may be some opportunity left in the contract for them possibly to increase it later. I haven't really seen that, but I think Carol changed up a few things. I know she changed up the earnest money and something else in there, but our lawyers is, he recommended as well that we go ahead and try to lock it up. However, I still think there is some problems with the approval for Carol to be the executor. We haven't seen that document yet, but still today, all we need to do is pass a resolution to whenever possible, if we do buy that property, that it'll be approved to go ahead and pay for it ourselves and be reimbursed for it. So with that said, I'm going to ask, I will need a motion and a second, and I'll
I have a
proceed.
Charles.
Go ahead. Kendra's there.
Seen a contract. I mean, I'm not good for voting on something that I haven't seen. I'm worried that instead of dealing with one person, we're going to be dealing with every family member. And by what I got from Dan yesterday, which said that, that Bonnie Erickson could not get a clear deed. Am I understanding that right?
But all we're doing here today is proving the option to pay for the property when and if we can do it. We're not writing an issue or checking it. The contract hasn't been approved. We're just approving the option. If we decide to buy that property, we just prove and say, okay, if everything is cleared and everything is on go, then we can pay for it ourselves and then be reimbursed. We're not buying anything. As I said earlier, I'm not even sure if everything is officially approved that Carol is the executor. So, we don't know that yet. We haven't seen no documentation that said that, but she said she was. But that's all we're doing today. We're not buying anything. And I had talked to Cindy a little earlier about the possibilities of some more property. Cindy, you want to explain that?
I do. I have information. Donnie or Donald Kubeka, who owns the is it Kubitschek?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. He owns the airport, and they're around, it's a little over 100 acres, and it is, and I've talked to Renee, it would work just as well as the Mailer property. He did call me. He doesn't want to sell all of it. He don't want to sell the airport or the hangars or anything like that. He is willing to sell us 54 acres. He wants a big price for it. He wants $300,000 net. He don't want to pay any closing costs or anything. But my thinking on this, I mean, we don't have to tell anybody. We haven't done anything to tell anybody. But I consider it a good bargaining tool with the mailers. And I feel like we can go to them and say, hey, we have an option of another piece of land. Yours isn't the only one that would be ideal for our situation. You know, they don't have to know figures or anything, but I think, first of all, we got to confirm that we can even buy it and they can even sell it the way they think. But I think we ought to make them go back on their price that they originally did. We worked the problem to begin with, and even if at the time we would have found out eventually that they couldn't have sold it to us before the deadline anyway. I mean, how do y'all feel? I didn't feel right about, I mean, I did. I agreed to do it because I know we need it. But I was aggravated at the meeting. Carol is the one that we've dealt with from day one. She said she had all the authority and everything. And then we had that Zoom meeting. She didn't hardly say anything and brings her adopted sister that does all the talking, and then they've changed the price and all this and try to make it look like it was our fault that the price was changed. Did any of y'all get that same feeling?
Yes.
So Deborah and I are the only two that,
Yeah, you know, originally they had asked for 325,000, and then that was years ago. And then when we got serious about it this time, they offered 300,000, and then we kind of counted it off 250. And like you said, you know, everything was a done deal, but due to the passing of her mother, and we couldn't get nothing done quick enough to make that happen. So we really was back to, we are always back. If we actually got some land that we can buy for 300,000, I don't know. I mean, if it's pretty close there, Renee, is there going to be some additional fees with lines and things of that nature? Will we have to cross their property in any way?
The back end of the very far north end of our property butts up with the airport property and his property. If we can get that back half that butts up to our property, no, we won't have to run across anybody else's property to get access to that 54 acres if we can get that end that butts against our property.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just thinking that gives us an option. We're not so much backed into the corner with the mailers, you know.
Not only that, but Cindy, we would be dealing with Mr. Kubitschek. With the mailers, we're not for sure who all we're going to be dealing with, correct?
That's exactly right. And he told me he's owned it. He told me 17, 18 years. And he said it's just him and his wife. There is no lien on the property. It could be done quick. Now, I do agree. It is more money. But it could push the mailers to get their crap together. Excuse my French. But, you know, we're not just, you know, like them saying, well, it's commercial. It's like it's some big piece of property. It's nothing. It ain't going to be good for nothing but what we want it for. You know, nobody else wants that land. I think we've got bargaining power and say, hey, you agreed to the 250,000. You didn't even have a right to do anything. We couldn't have purchased it when she was alive because the will had never been probated to her. So really and truly, I mean, and like Deborah said, we've got two sons two grandsons, the son that passed away, that they're having to deal with. And I'm like, Deborah, man, we may be having to deal with like, well, 3, 4, 5, 6 people, you know, versus the other man. I mean, he can do it easy. I don't know. I could find out what the closing costs. That's a percentage. But I mean, his land is, I mean, he says it's clear and free, and I trust him.
I'd like to know what Shannon and Ruben think on the situation.
Yeah. Kendra's in here now.
She is,
My opinion on this is I don't think they even care because remember she's that Dana Robinson says she can, you know, they can, if they sell it, they sell it. They don't sell it, they don't sell it. So I mean, what I took out of that, they don't really care if they sell it or not. So if you give them that option, I don't want to say, okay, well, if I'm gonna go that way, go that way. So, because she said that they're not really rushing to sell it. You know, if they sell it, then that's fine. But if they don't, then, you know, so to my opinion, I think that, I mean, you give them that option, they just say, okay, well, if y'all want that, go ahead and do that. That's what I got of that.
Okay, Ruben, to your point, that's not right. Because to settle estates, the IRS gives you so long.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't do it, they'll do it for you.
Mm-hmm.
And so they can say what they want to, but
Yeah.
I know they've got to settle it.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they don't need the money or whatever. It's, you are forced to do that with the IRS to settle an estate. Now, really and truly, they never have an estate. They never probated the will from the dad to the mother.
Yep.
And now she's passed away. So this could be a long legal battle. Okay.
Well, but I think, I'm not for sure, but I think if we start over with some more properties, I think the whole process starts over with USDA. And I think anything that we've already spent, it's lost. Is that correct, Dan?
Renee.
Yes,
Dan.
ma'am.
is that true? Do you know if that's true?
I don't think the USDA has any property locked down as far as the loan is concerned. I don't think they care what property it is as long as we have the property to do the work. Now, that's something that I would have to check with Dayla on. But also, my comment is we're paying more for half of the amount of property if we go with Mr. Kubitschek.
That is true.
Just to say, but you know, that's both situations seems unattainable at the moment.
Well, that is true.
That's true.
But I think all of the engineer work that we've paid for, are going to pay for, and all of the surveying, all that money has been,
it will have to be done again on different property. We will have to have the environmental study done again on a different property. Surveying and all of that will have to be done again.
Yeah, but I still think we have enough ground to go back and make them another offer. I mean, I think that's what they're bluffing us, because I don't think anything they're gonna grow out there but more rocks. Nobody else wants that property. My personal opinion, I think they're just trying to bluff us, but I really don't think, I don't know if it's worth the chance to me if y'all want to consider all that, but I think we really, for here today, if we approve this, giving us if we did decide to go ahead and buy that property, then we'll already have that pass to pay for it. No action is going to be taken until we can do otherwise. I mean, we haven't, the contract hasn't been approved. We haven't, there's a lot of things hadn't done. This is just a step towards that.
So if we go with that today, can we lower the value that we say in it from 300,000 to 250,000?
We can do whatever we want to. We can make an offer. We can make another bid. We have to go back through that process and tell them what we're doing. If they want to know why, I don't have a problem with it.
I guess
Remember,
who
I
we're dealing.
mean, but I
You
don't
know-
know, but I know we need that. I mean, that land would fit us better, but also, I don't know how much time we got before we have to do something, but I know it's gonna set us back. We're gonna have to start this whole process over again.
Kendra, Shannon, y'all have any?
I've been kind of been in and out, having some trouble here, but I guess we just need to go ahead and prove. I don't know. I'm a little bit lost on what everything's y'all been talking about. But we're just here to decide on this one little issue, right? Not any kind of mailer property / anything else. We're just here to approve this ability to be able to pay and get reimbursed. That's all I'm at, right? That's all we're here for today.
That is correct.
So,
But we can do some, I mean, we have time to do some evaluation and study and just do some real comparison for the other properties. I mean, I'm not sure if there's gonna be some sort of hidden expenses that we hadn't figured in on, but like Renee said, you know, we buying less property for the same amount.
Yeah,
Start
yeah,
with. That's something.
I agree. I don't necessarily think we need to buy the Cuba check, but I'm like Cindy, I think it is a bargaining tool that we do have other options. That's my opinion.
So you're saying y'all want to say we want to go back and say, well, we want to stick with our original offer of $250,000. Is that what we want to do? But today we just need to prove this. What's on the agenda is the options to pay for it internally if and when we decide to do it, then we can do it. Now the amount, I mean, that could be done later, but right now all we need to do is say, okay, if we can get it for 250 or 300,000, we can pay for it internally and then get reimbursed.
Shannon was raising her hand. You could barely see it. She's kind of.
Shannon? I didn't hear him. I'm sorry. Shannon?
Never mind. I'm kind of like Deborah. I mean, I understand the process of just, getting this part done. But I'm like Deborah about getting one person solid in on the mailers. Because if not, I'm afraid that it may end up being what we've been trying to avoid with the Vusics. With all the siblings and nieces, grandkids and all that. But as far as
I mean,
getting
we won't
to a
even
point,
go, Shannon, we won't even go any further if they'll never prove it, give us the document showing that she is the executor.
okay,
I mean, I don't know how long that'll take. We won't do anything. Nothing can be done until we get some documentation with it notarized saying she is the executor. We can't go any further anyway. But like I say again, that's all we're here today for, to prove whatever the value is, but we'll finally agree upon that we'll do it, pay for it internally, then be reimbursed.
So in other words, we are voting today to have this paper written up that we would pay internally without a value, without whose land, but it's going to be there for whatever we decide to purchase and the amount.
Exactly.
Okay.
It just say real property, it didn't say mailer property, just for real property. You're correct. Now, can I have a motion? And I mean, this will give us some time and also give us a little leverage to go back to them and say, look, we want to stick with our original offer. And if they want to know why, we'll tell them. If that's what you guys want. But remember, it may delay the whole project. And that's some stuff we can find out after we,
I think it's
Okay.
gonna be delayed anyway, but whatever. It might make them get their stuff together.
yeah.
I have a question for Renee.
Yes, ma'am.
I know that we're not, we're not worrying about which land and all that, but I just want to, before we go any further, you would still rather have the Mather land?
I would. It would be more accessible. There's more room for expansion. Maybe one of these days we may have to expand our wastewater treatment plant to recycle, the treated water back into our potable water system. And this plant is going to be able to, do that. And it would give us more land to work with. And then there's also that company that was interested in putting their little plan out there. And, it would just be enough room for everything that, may happen in the future. But I would be happy with either one at this point.
Okay.
And really, I don't know which part of the property that Mr. Kubitschek is wanting to sell off. If it's the property that butts up to ours, it would be great. If it's
Yeah,
somewhere
it
where
is.
we have to run a pipeline to, it might be more trouble. But
No, it
Either-
is the
either-
backside. It is the joining us.
okay, awesome.
Thank you, Renee. I just wanted to clarify before, I know that's not the issue today, but thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, I make a motion that we approve resolution 20-05-29. The resolution expressing intent to finance expenditures to be incurred by the city of Seagraves.
Alderman Cindy made a motion. Do I have a second?
I submit.
Alderman Deborah Middleton, second. All in favor, please. Alderman Ruben Vise,
Aye.
Alderman Shannon Wadzik,
Aye.
Alderman Deborah Middleton,
Aye.
Alderman Kendra Sellers. She may be out.
He's not there.
Alderman Cindy Durham.
Aye.
Did I hear Kendra?
No, Kendra's off now. I guess she,
Okay. Okay,
Working.
we have 4 for and 1 not. Any more discussions? So we've already had that, so motion has passed to pay for the property, real property internally, and be reimbursed. Next on the agenda is the enacted drought contingency plan 2020. And I think that's something that I think we should have done that last month. It looks like we are having a drought right now. Anyway, we just need to approve that plan.
This is something that's required by the Texas Water Development Board because we have a loan with them, and most of the cities in Texas do. And we have to update it every 5 years. I'm actually a year behind. We were supposed to do it last year, and I did not get it done. But it's just really a formality for the Texas Water Development Board.
I make a motion to enact a drought contingency plan for 2020. Alderman Middleton, sorry.
Motion has been made and second.
Alderman Shannon Wadzik, second.
Okay. All in favor, Alderman Ruben Vice,
Aye.
Alderman Shannon Watson, Alderman Deborah Middleton,
Aye.
Alderman Kendra Sellers, Alderman Cindy Durham. Are there any more discussion about the drought contingency plans? If not, motion passed. One thing I want to just warn you guys, we got one thing that's got a real short fuse on. We need to have another special meeting probably next Tuesday. What it is, it's going to be on the rates for our sewer, for the rate increase for the wastewater plant, for the sewer rate. So we're going to I like to try to have it next Tuesday, if possible, special meeting like about 6:30. We really need to do that because it's something that we're gonna have in place no matter what. That's how we're gonna have to pay for this project that we're on. Increase our sewer rate. So we need to get John Perkins to come over and explain it to us. It is, I know you probably have seen some of the attachments that's been coming out, and it's really confusing. So I think it's been changed again, but he's gonna come. If we decide to do that date, is that okay with you guys? I mean, we need to really get this behind us because we got another meeting coming up the following Monday, our regular meeting. So,
Is it gonna be in person?
no, it's gonna be a Zoom meeting.
Okay.
Renee Goodger, excuse me, Mayor.
Yes.
I just wanted to tell you that it's Chris Neal from Communities
Chris.
Unlimited. Yes, sir, that wants to be part of that meeting so that he can explain how these rates work and how the charges are, what the charges are based on.
Okay.
Thank you, sorry.
No, yeah, you're right. Yeah. Is that date okay with you guys? In time?
Tuesday the 2nd? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay, suits me.
Yes, for Deborah Middleton, yes.
What time?
6:30.
6:30.
I haven't heard from anybody else.
I'm good.
Ruben, okay. Shannon,
Her voice is off. She's muted.
okay, we'll send out. Did you hear that, Shannon? We'll have a special. Is that okay with you? Okay. Okay, then I'll send out a email with all of that agenda and everything. So next on the agenda is to adjourn. So I guess I need a motion and a second.
I make a motion that we adjourn Alderman Middleton.
Motion has been made. Do I hear a second?
I second. Ruben Vice.
Okay.
Ruben Vise, second. All in favor? Ruben,
Aye.
Shannon Watson, Deborah Middleton,
Aye.
Kendra Sellers, Cindy Durham. Okay, motion has been made and passed to adjourn. Meeting adjourned. I thank everybody for coming out today. I know this kind of must have messed up the lunch break, but we had to squeeze it in. But thanks again. So
Thank you.
keep talking to you guys later.
Thank
Have a
y'all.
good weekend, everybody.
Yeah, y'all too.
You
Bye-bye.
too.
All right.